If you ever feel like you're not achieving anything in life, if it seems like you don't have any special talent or strength, then, my friend, this is a story you absolutely need to hear. It's about a simple boy, someone just like you and me, who managed to inspire the entire world with his determination. This is the remarkable journey of a young boy from South Africa, a boy named William. So, let's dive into his story and discover how an ordinary soul did something truly extraordinary. The story begins with a group of people working together in the fields. Among them, we meet a man named Trywell, who plays an important role in the story. A short while later, we learn about Trywell's brother John. Tragically, John finds himself surrounded, and his life is lost. The villagers come together to bury him, and during this moment, the village elder addresses the crowd. He recalls that 20 years ago, John and Trywell had returned to this town, bringing with them the knowledge of farming. Thanks to their efforts, the crops have grown more than 30 times since then. The elder urges the villagers to remember and be grateful for what these two brothers have done for the community. Trywell, deeply saddened by his brother's passing, sits quietly. At that moment, a group of dancers arrives, dressed in colorful and unusual costumes. Their dance brings a sense of joy to the mourners, lifting their spirits for a brief moment. This is part of a long-standing tradition in the village. Whenever someone dies, the dancers come to perform. Their dance is meant to help the community forget their grief, if only for a short while, allowing the pain to be shared and softened through the power of movement. We then see Trywell's entire family, his wife, son, and daughter, living in a small house. Trywell supports his family by working as a farmer, and his son, William, is exceptionally sharp-minded. He has a keen interest in mechanical things and can fix almost anything. Later, after William takes a bath and changes into his new clothes, he is overjoyed with how they look. He comes out wearing the new outfit, and both his parents are thrilled to see him so happy. William thanks his father for the gift, and then heads out with his friend for school. We then see Trywell visiting a shop to buy fertilizer for the fields. He tells the shopkeeper that he heard on the radio this morning that a flood is expected to hit their village soon. Meanwhile, William's mother and sister are seen at another shop buying supplies. Afterward, as they leave the shop, they encounter a political party group on the street. Trywell becomes frustrated and complains that these politicians do nothing for the people, only coming around to ask for votes. Then, we see Trywell's daughter and a school teacher who exchange smiles. It's clear that they have feelings for each other. We then move to a scene at William's school. The principal addresses the students, informing them that those who haven't paid their fees will not receive library cards, and they will not be allowed access to the library. Just then, a heavy rainstorm begins, and the principal instructs all the students to head back to their classrooms. We also see the teacher from earlier, the one who has feelings for William's sister. He is now teaching William at the school, and his name is Kachagunda. Meanwhile, Kachagunda tells William that his father hasn't paid the fees, and if he doesn't pay them soon, the school might expel him. This deeply upsets William, but he feels helpless. The weather in their village is extremely rainy, and Trywell is working in the rain. Seeing this, William's mother approaches him and says that he should help his father. William replies that he has a science test the next day and needs to study. He then asks his mother if he can use some kerosene oil to light up the room to study. His mother worries, saying if he uses all the oil, there won't be enough for the household chores. William wants to study, but is struggling with the lack of resources. The next day, William takes his science test and scores 60%. After school, his friend takes him to a junkyard, where they collect various items. William places them in his bag to make a light for studying at night. This shows William's dedication and determination. Meanwhile, William attends a meeting where his father is also present. At this meeting, two outsiders are discussing buying a tree that grows on the village's farmland. Upon hearing this, the village leader speaks up, saying that the village used to be full of greenery, but these outsiders have cut down all the trees, causing floods. He rejects their offer, but these outsiders make a more appealing offer. William's uncle agrees to the deal, even though Trywell protests, warning him not to sign. Ignoring Trywell, his uncle signs the papers and takes the money. Afterward, others at the meeting are tempted by the offer and also sign the deal, taking the money. Back at home, William approaches his father. He requests that his father pay the school fees. In response, Trywell tells him that once the harvest is collected and sold, he will have enough money to pay the fees. He also reminds William that the outsiders are cutting down their trees, increasing the risk of floods. Later that night, William notices his sister and his teacher are talking, and it becomes clear to him that they like each other. The next day, when William is going to school with his friend, he spots a bicycle that catches his attention. The bike has a light that turns on automatically when it's pedaled, without needing a switch. This fascinates William, and he wonders how it works. When William returns home from school, he overhears his mother and father talking. His mother tells Trywell that William is as smart as his sister when it comes to studies. His mother suggests paying for William's school fees, but Trywell responds that he doesn't have a single penny to pay for it. The scene shifts, and we see William is expelled from school due to his unpaid fees. Meanwhile, Trywell struggles as rainwater begins flooding his fields. Despite his best efforts to drain the water, nothing works, and soon he realizes there's no hope left. He decides to seek help from his friend, as he has nothing left, no money and no food to survive. With a heavy heart, Trywell takes William to his friend's place, explaining that he wants to save the trees in their village, because cutting them has led to floods in their fields. He shares that the rain has destroyed his entire crop. Daniel listens carefully and tells Trywell that after the rain, their village will face a severe drought. He mentions that international funds and food supplies are being sent to cities affected by worse floods. Daniel reassures him that the government will help, but insists that their immediate concern should be preparing for the upcoming drought. Unfortunately, Daniel refuses to assist him, leaving Trywell and William feeling hopeless as they return home, defeated by the situation. Few days later, the scorching summer heat waves over the village, the crops dry up, and the land becomes barren. The people, who rely on farming for their survival, are left with nothing. Trywell, who has been working tirelessly on his farm, watches helplessly as his crops wither away. The relentless drought has turned his once thriving farm into a dust-filled wasteland. Meanwhile, William sneaks into school, eager to learn despite the challenges. As the class comes to an end, William approaches his teacher with a question that's been bugging him for days. He asks with great curiosity, "How does the light on your bicycle work when you pedal?" His teacher, with a smile, explains, "It's because of a dynamo in the tire. When the tire spins, it generates electricity, which powers the light." William, fascinated by this, asks, "Where can I find a dynamo like that?" He suggests, "There's a training center in town, but it may be out of your reach right now." William, undeterred by the obstacle, asks, "How can we make one ourselves?" He pauses, unsure, and says, "I'm not sure, William, but it's something worth looking into." However, the teacher reminds him that he's been expelled due to unpaid fees. William, ever the optimist, whispers a secret. "I know something about you and my sister's secret. If you help me, I'll keep it quiet." The teacher reluctantly agrees and takes him to the library, where they meet another teacher. This teacher, believing that the principal has given permission, allows them to work freely, providing William with a chance to learn and explore. Within a moment, William discovers a book on energy in the library. His eyes light up with excitement. This is exactly what he had been searching for. He reads through it carefully, absorbing every detail like a sponge. When he returns home, a powerful windstorm begins to form in the sky. William stands silently, watching the swirling winds with deep thought and awe, perhaps already imagining how nature itself might be harnessed to bring hope. The scene shifts. It's now harvest time, a season that usually brings celebration. But this year, the crops have failed because of the relentless drought. What little they've managed to grow won't be enough. Trywell calculates that the food will barely last 2 months, yet they must survive an entire year. Faced with this harsh reality, he makes a difficult decision. He will remove and sell the roof sheets from their home to get some money for survival. Trywell heads to the market with the metal sheets, hoping to earn at least enough to feed his family. But there, he finds out the government has imposed strict controls, claiming there's a shortage of food. The official line is that everything is under control. But the villagers know the truth. People are starving, and the government is hiding it. The lie stings, especially when the pain of hunger is so real. Hearing the truth about the government's lies, Trywell is consumed with anger. To make matters worse, prices of essential goods keep rising. In the marketplace, a protest is taking place, organized by the opposition party. Trywell joins in, standing with them in hopes of raising his voice against the injustice and the widespread hunger their people are facing. Meanwhile, we see Kachagunda and Annie talking in a quiet moment. Kachagunda pleads with her, "Come with me to my village. Let's get married today." But Annie gently refuses. She says she can't abandon her family like that, not in these times. Back at school, William's principal storms into his classroom. In front of all his classmates, he scolds William harshly for not paying his school fees. Despite William's repeated pleas, "My father will pay. Please just give me time." The principal shows no compassion and humiliates him before everyone. Devastated, William is expelled. He walks out of school in tears. When he returns home, his mother notices a truck approaching the village. It's carrying sacks of grain sent by the government for the poor. She quickly sends William off with a bicycle to collect their share before it's too late. At home, Annie and her mother are alone when a desperate man breaks in. He grabs their food supplies and runs off. They're shaken, but the nightmare isn't over. Within a moment, several men are stealing the little grain they had managed to grow over months. Their family's survival was pinned on this harvest. Annie and her mother try to stop them, but the thieves overpower them and flee with the food. All they can do now is stand there and cry. Their hopes shattered, their strength tested yet again. In another part of the village, a government food truck arrives, but as soon as the grain is unloaded, chaos erupts. Desperate and starving, the villagers fight each other for a handful of food. It's heartbreaking. In the middle of the crowd, William manages to sneak in quietly and grab a small sack of maize before it's all gone. Back home, Trywell returns to find his wife crying. She tells him some men broke in and stole their remaining grain. Trywell is devastated. Later that evening, Trywell quietly tells his family, "We only have enough maize left for one meal a day now." The harvest has failed, the rains never returned, and they're left with almost nothing. Annie, William's sister, breaks down in frustration and storms out of the house. When their mother follows to check on her, Annie speaks rudely in anger. Overwhelmed and heartbroken, her mother slaps her and then immediately pulls her into a hug. Both cry as they hold onto each other tightly. These people aren't just hungry, they're broken. The government has turned its back on them, and the land that once fed them now offers nothing but dust and despair. This is the silent suffering of farmers. When nature fails them, they're left fighting to survive, one day at a time. That night, William walks quietly into Annie's room. He gently says, "I know you love Kachagunda and that you've been helping him. I'm not asking for much. Just give me the dynamo from his bicycle. I don't know how to build one, but with that, I can help solve our village's water crisis." The next morning, as William returns home from collecting firewood, he sees his mother standing outside, holding a letter in her trembling hands. She's crying uncontrollably. It's from Annie. She's left the house. Heartbroken, William rushes into her room. It's empty now, but on the bed, he finds the dynamo she left behind. It's her silent message, her way of saying she believes in him. Tears fill his eyes. He misses her already, but now he knows. She's sacrificed her own love for the family to give him a chance to save their village. After this, William heads to his friend's place with an idea. He connects a small radio to a reed setup and places a tiny windmill outside. As soon as the blades catch the wind, the radio crackles to life. The music plays, and everyone nearby lights up with joy. For William, it's a moment of pure belief. If this can work, maybe something even bigger is possible. Motivated by this success, his friends begin searching the junkyard for parts that can help build a larger windmill. Meanwhile, Trywell heads to the fields, weighed down by fear and exhaustion. William follows him and shows him the working model of the windmill. He explains, "If I can build a bigger version and connect it to a water pump, we can save the entire village from the drought." Then, carefully, he adds, "But I'll need one of your bicycle wheels to do it." But Trywell is not convinced. He believes William is wasting time on a toy. Angry and disappointed, he refuses and tells William, "From now on, you'll work with me in the fields." Heartbroken, William begins laboring alongside his father. Later, his friend quietly approaches him and asks about the dynamo. William tells him the truth. His father refused to give up the bicycle. That's when the friend offers hope. Let's all talk to him together. Maybe, just maybe, he'll listen. William's friends gather the courage to visit Trywell and speak to him about the bicycle. But instead of listening, he grows angry and drives them away. Soon after, Trywell's wife receives heartbreaking news. Her parents have passed away. Overwhelmed, she goes to Trywell and says, "I've already lost too much. Annie, my parents, and I can't bear to lose anything else." Her voice trembles with grief and exhaustion. Meanwhile, William discovers that even his dog has died, starved from the famine. He breaks down in tears, holding the lifeless body, overwhelmed with guilt and helplessness. Moved by his wife's pain and the growing despair around him, Trywell begins to realize what truly matters. He walks out to find William, who is burying his beloved dog. In that quiet moment between father and son, we witness a bond mending, raw, real, and full of unspoken love. And finally, Trywell steps forward. He agrees to give up his bicycle, not because he believes in the machine, but because he believes in his son. As William and Trywell begin building the windmill, villagers start joining in, helping with the wood, the structure, and every little detail. It becomes a collective dream, something they all believe in. William installs a motor, connects a pipe, and lowers it into the well. The plan is simple: to draw water from the well and bring life back to their dry, dying fields. Finally, the windmill is complete. William looks at everyone and says, "Now we wait for the battery to charge." While the windmill stands still, villagers return to the fields with hope in their eyes. And then, it happens. The fan begins to spin. Water starts flowing from the pipes. Cheers erupt. People laugh, cry, and hug each other in pure joy. Trywell pulls William into a proud embrace, tears in his eyes. Farming begins again, and the village feels alive once more. Days pass, and tiny green leaves begin to sprout. Life, quite literally, is growing again. William climbs his windmill and looks over his village, now green, alive, and smiling again. His invention had changed everything. In the final scene, we learn that this is a true story. William Kamkwamba went on to earn a degree from a university in the United States. And the screen fades with a powerful quote. "God is like the wind. You can't see him, but you can feel him. And he's for everyone." So friends, one boy, one dream, and a simple idea changed the fate of an entire village. William's story reminds us that even in our darkest times, a spark of hope can light the way. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with someone who needs a little hope today. Subscribe to our channel, Unique Storytellers, for more inspiring, true stories and powerful lessons from around the world. And in the comments below, tell us, what would you do if you had the power to bring change like William? Until next time, stay inspired and never stop believing.